Wrong intro song.
Hello, it's fine.
It's fine.
Hello. Wait, we have to make it official. We have to make it official, guys. Yeah. Here we go. Are you ready to make it official?
Here we go. It's about to be real this time.
Scream versus I Know What You Did Last Summer. Take it. We're not going to do the dance.
Hey, don't you hate it when you're at a show and they do air guitar?
No, I love air guitaring at a show. It's my favorite thing to do. I go to, in fact, if I'm...
keep telling you I hate it.
If I'm not at a show and I'm not air guitaring, that probably means I'm home.
Yep.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Film Fights. I am your fearless host, Jono Rodriguez. And with me, of course, is my spam-eaten, ham-beaten, like in Rocky, scam-heaten, because he's like, don't need it, right? Don't you throw your spam in the oven? Or no, your scams. Conrad Hartman!
Hey, thanks, everybody. Jono, thank you for that culinary intro.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's great. How are you, by the way?
A little sick from all the salted canned meat products and tricks I've been consuming. That's scams. For you guys, I don't know English. Otherwise good. Excited to be here. Excited to be here with our pal James. Excited to be here with my best buddy in the whole world, Jono.
Me.
You.
We are best buds. You don't need to say I'm your... it's not possessive. We are the buds.
I'm possessive.
Like when you watch Air Buds, which is one of the Air Bud movies, there's a bunch of them, and they're all equal. None of them are each other's buds. They are just
Wait,
buds.
none of them are each other's buds?
No.
They're just buds.
They're just a litter of buds.
Like, okay, so they say we're buds, and like, oh, so that's your bud? No.
Yes, because they are equal. Nobody owns anything.
I didn't realize that created a hierarchy. Say this is my buddy.
It most certainly
I heard it that time.
Doesn't it give you a bad taste in your mouth? Like when you take a shot of Fernet. Who does that? Conrad, we're going to talk about movies. Isn't that weird? That's what we do on the show. What do we do on the show?
Here on Film Fights, we pick two movies, and we pit them against one another in a brutal grudge match, with one of them coming out on top to reign supreme. Tonight, it's battle of the 96 and 7 slashers. That's right. It's Scream versus I Know What You Did That Time, one time. It's been a sec.
No, that's a different movie. It's been a sec. Is that part of it?
The movie's called, hey, remember that thing? Because I kind of do.
Well, that's the short version. Like it's like, hey, sup? Remember me from college?
Oh, wait, I'm a character that's never been in the movie yet, but we'll get to that.
But we'll get. Don't worry, that's in parentheses.
And tonight, since this is a very special live taping of Film Fights, we will be doing 3 segments. Returners of the show will be familiar with it. We're going to be talking about Scream. We're going to be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then, of course, review the reviews, where we've picked 1-star and 5-star reviews of both movies that neither of us have seen before.
Sight none seen.
I haven't even seen mine.
I've not seen them either.
I closed my eyes and swiped my phone and just put my finger on one.
Well, we actually go to, it's called Review Roulette. It's you go there. It's not a website. You go there physically, and you say, excuse me, I'd like one review, please.
It's sort of like GameStop, except they don't sell anything.
No, they don't.
And it's one game that's not a game.
I don't know how they're staying afloat. I mean, COVID was real tough on them. They had to go virtual, which they do not like to do. Like I said, there's no website. They had to do Zoom calls.
Yeah, COVID actually did not affect their business negatively, thankfully.
No. Well, because they don't have any business. There's no business to be had.
Correct. That's correct.
So, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, guys, what are you talking about? What's happening?
That's fair.
That's very fair. It's very normal. But what's not normal is the movie Scream, which is what we're going to talk to you about first.
I love it.
So
what do you
Scream.
say we put the Spam in the oven and start getting dessert ready.
Let's do it. So Scream is a movie by Wes Craven.
That's right.
This is coming hot off the heels of New Nightmare because he was like, oh, Freddy Krueger, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it like, what if it was right now in the real world? And I played a director named Wes Craven, and Freddy came to life. It's an okay movie.
I like that movie.
Yeah, but it has a lot of self-referential things in it. And so he thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to make a slasher movie again like the old days, except it's going to be meta. I'm going to go meta with it and have all the characters just reference horror movies that I like. And it's like, oh, yeah, they're high school kids that are like 17, and they're like, oh, yeah, I remember that movie, I Spit on Your Grave from 1979. I'm going to casually reference it. That really happens.
Remember that silent Charlie Chaplin classic, Tripping on the Sidewalk? It's 30 seconds long. Spoiler alert.
He dies.
So I like the idea of like Grandpa Craven rocking in his chair and being like, oh, this is the way they used to make movies with teenagers that were 30 and getting stabbed by their friend. Because there hadn't been slasher movies in like the zeitgeist for 15 years or something before this movie. Like this was like the
resurgence. Like a lot of people kind of like look back. It's easy to look at history in thumbnails, right? Because you forget to clip them. Now, the thing with thank you, James. The thing with this was that like a lot of people say like, oh, this kind of like reinvented the slasher. I mean, slashers have like always kept happening. Like there were they always happened, but they were kind of waning. Like they were kind of getting like. They weren't really being pushed by big studios. I mean, Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell. That was 92, I think.
Yeah.
So like they existed. They just like people were like, yeah, it's the same. Swipe right, bro. I'm more into what's going on right now.
That did not exist yet.
I'm dumbing it down.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm
swiping right meant hitting fast forward on the VHS player.
You would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but people were into like skateboard movies and Pearl Jam.
I'm tired of my friends killing me. I want the devil to kill me or whatever.
Yeah,
so they
exactly.
Made devil movies. Yeah.
And then Blair Mitch Project. It's a guy named Mitch, and he's like, "Oh man, I really wish I had a project."
He was legendary, man.
He was.
Yeah, he killed his friends by doing too many beer bongs, bro.
Yeah, there's so much flannel everywhere. No, but he came out with this movie, and it was a big deal because everyone was like, "Oh my god, they're like it's like meta," and he's like talking about the rules of a horror movie, and it seems very quaint now because Scary Movie came out after this, and then a slew of other movies that are self-referential and stuff. But this was kind of a big deal at the time.
Yeah, no, I remember when this came out, we were like, "This is groundbreaking stuff. We've never seen a movie before."
Well, yeah, that was all the 12-year-olds trying to get into a rated R movie. It's like, whoa, I just saw Land Before Time.
Now, I know that our thing is mostly shitting on things that everyone loves, like their grandma, but this movie, man, something really clever right out of the gate. So Drew Barrymore was originally approached to be the lead, she was going to play Neve Campbell in the movie, and she was like, she was like, no, I want a smaller role.
Because I'm not a wild thing.
Listen, she's coming hot off the tails of E.T. 15 years earlier. She's like, I'm a big star.
She was in Poison Ivy.
Yeah. And she's like, Batman Returns. I was the star of that movie.
No, it was Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. I meant
she played one of Two-Face's ladies.
That's right. And she's like, listen,
she's the good one.
I was clearly the top billing.
Yeah, I had one line. The other girl didn't have any lines, so no big deal.
And I kind of flubbed that one line too.
Yeah, I said, "Hey, nice to see you again, Three-Face." And
damn it,
they left it in the movie. These are real facts. They're not.
That movie came out. That was the movie before Batman had nipples, if you can believe it.
Yeah, and it was called Forever. Feels like forever since it came out.
No, but she was the opening character, and so she was like on all the ads and everything. So people were like, "Oh, Drew Barrymore is the star of this movie," and then just like Hereditary little girl acts like immediately like bloody death, just guts after she plays Murder Trivia Party. Against her will.
No. I'd say like that really had Scream. That was like the biggest thing was the ad campaign. Like the trailer, like the official trailer, was pretty much cut just that opening. Like it didn't show Nev Campbell. It didn't show any of the other characters. And so you went into this movie, like this was before the internet. So you went into this movie thinking, oh, cool. That was like the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Because even I remember seeing this in the theater, and I remember even seeing her like get stabbed for that first time. It's like, oh, well, obviously she's going to survive this.
Wake up in the hospital and be like, oh, I saw a man with a scary mask.
No, and she just gets totally, she gets deered.
Gets screamed. That's why it's called that.
The scream job.
Yeah, it's a real scream job, if you catch my drift.
And then, right after that happens, it's like, put in the summer jams of 1996.
Oh, yeah. We'll crank up the gin blossoms.
Yeah. And then we open on a school and we see kids with backpacks. Well, 30-year-olds with backpacks. And they're all like, oh, did you hear about Slutty McSlutterson who got killed?
Oh, yeah, I heard she got stabbed a lot, if you know what I mean. I don't mean with a knife. Anyway, it's too bad she's dead. Oh, we're next.
Oh, no. And they all start making, like, really offensive, dark jokes.
Yeah, and then admonishing their friends for being too sensitive about it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, my God, my mom just died a year ago from murder. And now you're making fun of this girl that just got murdered. And they're like, oh, quit being such a bitch.
Well, then immediately the friends are just like frivolously being like, oh, well, you could be the murderer, or I could be the murderer, and it's like, okay, great, thanks for coming in hot movie with like anybody could be the murderer,
right? Yeah, we're like, thanks, we got it.
Yeah, because it's like, you work in a video store, that means you know about horror movies, you're a killer. Oh, and your parents are divorced, but you're a murderer.
Oh, hang on. Before this scene, when we meet Nev Campbell's character, Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
She's
Party of Fiver.
Party of Fiver, yeah. So she's sitting in her room working on her laptop that's the size of a room because it's 1996. And she's typing in MS-DOS.
Well, that's Chekhov's chat room because she uses that later.
And then, oh no, there's someone creepy at her window, except it's no one creepy at all. It's just her terrifying boyfriend, Skeet Ulrich, climbing into her window and it's saying, oh yeah, I was just watching The Exorcist, and it made me think about how I want to fuck you. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, he's a true rebel without claws because he comes in, he's got the white shirt, and his hair looks like it's glued to his skull. And he's just like, hey, I know I look like an escaped convict, but I'm your 16-year-old boyfriend.
Forgive my neck tattoos and 8 o'clock shadow that I've got.
And the bags under my eyes.
Oh, they're nicotine stains. Don't worry about it. Anyway, and then he gives like the most bananas. Listen, I was a young man once, believe it or not, and not in a scary way, but I was like, oh hey, let's make out or let's whatever. This is like the wildest pitch to get physical I've ever heard. He goes, I was watching The Exorcist on TV, and how they cut all the good stuff out? That's kind of what I feel like our relationship's like. Like to cut out all the slutty stuff or whatever.
Good parts, like our,
all that wet stuff. They just cut it right out. All the liquid is cut out of our relationship.
Because I just want to hold hands, baby.
Hands with anyway.
No,
yeah.
I do want to piggyback on that. The fact that he referenced The Exorcist. Okay, so I'm just going to come out and say it. All right, I'm going to come out and say it. Okay, the gloves are off. All right, we all know Scream is really great and everything, but can I just have a little bit of a hot plate hot take?
Please.
I don't really like this movie. I don't like the Scream movies at all. I just don't. And here's why. It feels like it's got like a Family Guy situation. That's right. I'm comparing Family Guy with Scream. It has a very much like, this feels like it's coming from the same writer. Like, no character has a discerning, outside of like, oh, Matthew Lillard is crazy and Video Store Guy is a geek. But the dialogue is the same. They all reference horror movies. Like, and not even just like, oh, that, oh, you mean that one with the guy with the white mask from, what was it called? Halloween, I think. No, they all make direct quotes and like exact titles. Like, I remember Nev Campbell during the curfew thing and like the town was empty. She's like, boy, it's like the town that dreaded sundown. And it's like, what? You're just making, like, it's not even like, in a previous episode, I flubbed the title. I said, oh, the town that feared sundown or something like that.
You were like the town that was scared of it being dark all the time or something.
Yeah. And that's me knowing I've seen that movie. And like, she just flippantly like, oh yeah, like that. And another character, Tatum, plays by Rose McGowan in a rare blonde look. She made She made a reference to I Spit on Your Grave. And like, that movie is more well known now. But at the time, that was a super underground.
It's well known now because there's been a remake of it.
Right,
there was a remake of it in the early 2000s.
But like, I'd say like in '96, that was known by super hardcore horror fans, like Wes Craven or something. Not some high school blonde girly McGirl who is a slut or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, every character referenced the movie at least 9 times.
Yeah, the sheriff is like, oh man, this reminds me of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. And you're like, what?
How? Oh, because there's a bunch of misfit kids? He's like, that's right, son. I'm glad you know your movie trivia. Now run along. Go
that
back
might
to school.
just save you.
Like, I think even the principal had a reference something. I don't remember what it was. But
I'm so glad you brought up the principal. Because, okay, the people in this audience might be a little young to catch this reference. You there in the back row. So the principal was played by one Henry Winkler.
Oh yeah, also known as
the Fonzie, Arthur Fonzarelli from the television show Happy Days. Now. He was a devil-may-care leather jacket wearing.
He was a regular Skeet Ulrich in his day.
Oh my God! It just clicked. I didn't put it together until now. See, that's it. He's like, I used to be you, son, accused of murder,
jumping over sharks.
So Principal Fonz, I like that he still talks like the Fonz. He's like, "Hey, you get in my office."
No, he's off the rails. He's like swearing at these kids. He's like, you fucking motherfuckers running around in a ghost face mask.
At the beginning, like after the murder, he's over the intercom talking to everyone. He goes, okay, now everyone remember, your principal loves you. Yeah. Like, man, that's like not the kind of support I got growing up in school. No. My principal was like, I swear to Christ, if I see you in here again, I'm going to punch my face through your face. It was more like Breakfast Club.
But like, and I don't know if it was the times, like, because we're in these days overexposed to hypersensitivity. But I'd say that like, if someone was legit murdered, like in your school, gutted, like not even just like, oh, they were shot or whatever, like sliced and diced, and they had a ghost face mask. If a kid showed up in school with a ghost face mask, that's basically like, oh, dude, you have social problems. Like that is super, that's not a prank. That is so wrong. Like I imagine the Halloween, the 5 and dime, I think they mentioned. Oh, they sell them at all the 5 and dimes.
Which, by the way, 5 and dimes were long a thing of the past when this movie came out. 5 and dimes like what Grandpa talked about. He's like, oh, I came back from World War II and I bought an apple at the 5 and dime and I asked your grandma to marry me.
And then I got a ghost face mask.
At the 5 and dime and I killed your friends.
But in a serious situation, like they would have been like, okay, yeah, we can't sell this anymore. Like this is associated with murder and death and that's awful.
John, this is before people were oversensitive.
Well,
okay, they were
saying.
They're like, can't you take a joke? It's just a joke.
It's just a joke. Why would you expel us and then murder us? I do like that they do kind of have like that, speaking to like anybody could be the killer.
Yeah.
I do like that there were moments where each character had, particularly the principal, where it was like, maybe he's the killer the whole time, but then he gets murdered.
Like when he put on that snuff film and started, throwing down on himself.
Throwing down.
That's
he was screaming.
Screaming, weening.
No, but all right. You know what? So here's the thing. The movie, everybody loves the movie, right? And I've already talked about how I don't like it. I'd
say definitely at least 1/3 of the people in this room love this movie. No question.
Okay. Look, then how about this? All right, we're winding down here. I'm just going to get to it. All right. I do like the movie's effort. I like the idea of it, the meta, the like. In fact, more than the meta, I like the actual execution of how they pulled off the killers, right? Because it's like the whole time you think it's one killer and it's like, oh, it's two killers. And like, even when you watch it a second time, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, there's no flaws. Like, it literally could have happened with both
it's
of them.
Perfect movie.
It's so great. But when you get to the end, and it's so brilliant, they're 100% high functioning, this is exactly how it needs to go. But when you get to the end of the movie, and Matthew Lillard, a.k.a. Shaggy...
Oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. When you get to the end of the movie, and it's like, oh, Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard, they planned it, they're the killers. They, James Bond villain level, explain the whole thing to Sidney, and is like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to kill you, and then we're going to kill your dad, and we're going to make it look like a suicide. He's crazy. You're going to die. That's how it is. Anyway, we're going to stab each other right now.
Just real quick.
That's part of the plan, but for some reason, we're going to do that now instead of after killing you, which we can do right now.
Also, this is nitpicky, I guess, but like, this is for the first time in the movie, for some reason, every other word Matthew Lillard says is baby. And he's like, that's right, baby. We're going to stab each other, baby. And then, we're going to frame you for your murder, baby.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is he like is he an old bus driver from New York?
Listen, I'm just calling it how I see it.
Hey, baby.
Also, his tongue, he kept sticking his tongue out and it came down to like here.
Well, he did originally audition to be the lead singer of Kiss.
And then they were like, you can't even be the bass player. We got a guy with an even longer tongue somehow.
Oh, boy.
That ding means it's time to move on to our second film tonight.
That's right. Oh. Okay, well. Okay. It's fine.
The audience now is ready to move on to review the reviews.
Oh, my God, we're doing it.
So
we now come to
I know.
Oh, you know?
It's the name of the movie.
Oh, you know the name of the movie?
No,
No, you don't know.
The movie is I Know.
What about a movie called I Don't Know What You Did Last Summer?
They're just like, you keep leaving me out. I'm killing you guys because you never invite me to shit.
Oh, you know what? I think it's just called The Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Man, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That is like
really hot.
Probably would have turned into a school shoot. Anyway,
whoa,
different times. Apparently, the premise of this movie is someone knows something that you did last summer, and that's the definition of high concept.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
it could just be like, it could be a soap opera. Like, you slept with someone that you shouldn't have.
Listen, I drink a lot. If someone came up to me at the bar and was like, hey, I just want you to know, I know what you did last summer, I'd be like, oh shit, what did I do?
Or no, they walked over and you said, I just want you to know what I did last summer. I went to Santa Monica.
Yeah. You know what? You mark out the I, put in a comma, change it, make it know what I did last summer?
Question mark?
Question mark. Actually, just add a question mark. I know what you did last summer?
Or no, it's like modern speak, right? It's like, I know what you did last summer. Doesn't really work.
You know what? And I thought we were going to get like a Chris Hansen moment in this. He's like, have a seat. So
wait, I just got these Zimas. They're just for me.
I'm just here to meet someone. That's not illegal, is it?
We're here to talk about Pokemon.
Wow, that is some damning evidence right there.
No, it's not. There are probably, if you took a tally, there's probably more adults who like Pokemon than there are people who are not adults.
I was going to say, if you're talking Pokemon, that person is 47 years old, so you're probably in the clear. He's like, oh, you're right, I'm sorry. Take your off-brand pizza that you brought. It's always some weird pizza that they bring in.
It's like Tonitas.
Oh, yeah, that's the Pizza Fusion place. That's like they make taco pizzas and empanada calzones.
Yeah, Mexican pizzas.
They're the same.
But there's taco meat in it instead of regular.
But I tell you what, in this town, they were stuffing their empanadas full of fish because this is a Fisher town that we're in, Fisher Town, USA.
Yeah, Fisher
I know what you did last summer. Fisher Town, where you wear sweaters in the summer and when you talk, smoke comes out of your mouth because it's always winter.
Yeah, and of course all their beauty pageants are held 20 miles away from the city, or sorry, town, because there wasn't a city.
I was going to say.
On the wharf.
Like, there's not a local hospital. If someone has a heart attack there.
That pageant was basically held in a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, she was like the queen of trout, or she was like the princess of sturgeon or something.
Yeah, she was a real starfish. So the premise of the movie is that these kids are like, hey, look, we're young and we're going out with each other.
Again, they're 37 years old.
No, they're a little younger. They're like 27. But they're all like, hey, we're going to the abattoir on the wharf. Let's all have fun. And then Sarah Michelle Gellar is she gets voted best hag in the sea.
Basically, that it's weird because she's like, yeah, I got voted. Everyone in town wants to fuck me. And they're like, yes, this is a wholesome activity.
Uh-huh. Yep. And she gets awarded Queen Cow, and then they all get in the cower.
Queen Sea Cow, please.
Well, that's where I was going. I let them put it together, all right?
I'm sorry, fair enough.
So they're driving on the very tiny road, and they...
tiny town, tiny road. I mean, that's...
yeah. Go hand in hand.
Tiny minds.
Or hook and hook. They driving down the road, and Ryan Philippe is.
Thank you for pronouncing it the right way and not the fake way. He's trying to make us say Philip. I'm not saying Philippe.
No, no. It's like saying, "Can I get a frappe, Philippe?" It's like no.
Yeah, give me a frappe.
Give me a frappe, you crepe. So no, they're driving down the road.
I'm not saying clip.
He's super drunk and he's out of the
He's not driving.
What is it? The top window of your car?
No, they both. Hang on. First, all four of them separately had sex on the beach. Wait, not in couples. Not like all four of them separately.
You don't need to say it. That's expected.
Well, the reason I say that is because Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's like, I want you to make love to my Hewitt for the first time.
Can we, Jennifer Love, do it right now?
Hey, let me tell you something. If it's your first time, don't do it on sand. If it's your 877th time, don't do it on sand.
No, yeah. Remember that famous line in one of those Star Wars prequels where, sand, it just gets everywhere.
Great pull.
Yeah, I think so. It's a very pivotal line.
Yeah, and then Ryan Philippe is like, no one drives my car except for me, and then takes a pull of bourbon.
Yeah, he drinks from the bottle, drops it all over Freddie Prinze Jr.
Fresh Prince Jr.
Fresh Prince of Jr. Air. And they hit a guy.
And he's like, this is the story all about how I got flipped, turned upside down.
I flipped this guy upside down. And so they hit this guy, and they're all like, oh, my God, we're young. And they go check, and it's like, oh, my God, it's a guy. He's dead or something. What do we do? Let's throw him to sea.
Right. First, they're like, let's call the cops. And Ryan Philippe is like, no, because I own this car.
I've got blood on my face.
If I'm drunk, and if we tell them, no, he was driving and someone walked in front of the car, there's not a chance they'll believe it. We got to put him on a raft and set him to sea.
Yeah, real hero's death. They set him on fire. That would have killed him for good. No movie, right? No, but what they should have done is said to the cops, He was driving, then we crashed, and he got thrown from the car.
We should have said to the cop, hey, Larry, we went to junior high school together. This town has 50 people in it. Obviously, Jerry. I mean, they would have known who he was.
That's not his name, though, in the movie.
That's not his name?
That's not his name in the movie.
Oh, my God. I had egg on my face.
His name is, like, Fishman.
The dead guy? Fishman Jr.?
No, he's not dead. He's just unconscious. Because they throw him in the sea, and in his death throes, takes Sarah Michelle Gellar's Tarara. I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Her Terrorara.
Her Terrorara.
Ooh.
And then Ryan
Scary
Philippe
movie.
is like, heirlooms, right? And he jumps into the... And he's like, he grabs it from the guy, and he like opens his eyes. He's like, oh my God, you're alive. And then it's a year later.
Yeah, right.
And
everything's changed.
Yeah, and what shouldn't be shocking is that in 1 year, your whole life can change.
That's actually the tagline.
Yeah.
I know you did last summer. In 1 year, your life can change.
For better or worse.
Oh, actually, it says more laughs and chills than Scream. Okay.
Oh, that's a good tagline.
That describes the plot very well.
I may disagree with half of that sentiment. Possibly all. So it's a year later, and all of them have transformed greatly, which is very realistic for people in a small town.
Yeah. Like the girl, she was like, I was going to be an actress, but then I was like, it sounds like a lot of work. I'll just work retail.
Yeah. And then you had Freddie Prinze, who was like, you know what? I'm going to be the president. But instead, he became a fisherman. Close.
Not Freddie Prinze. He didn't become a fisherman?
The only one whose dream came true was Ryan Philippe, because he was like, you know what? I'm an alcoholic hothead. I'm going to become that. And he continues to wear the same sweater.
Oh, dude. He's like, yeah, it's got the same vomit stain on it.
Yeah.
But he's like in a mansion.
Yeah, and he's always holding a bottle of liquor.
Just in case you like forgot that he was a drunk. They're like, God, I just really am afraid people are going to forget that he likes to drink.
Yeah, and they all break up with each other because they were all together or whatever. The Scooby Gang it's like, hey, oh my God, they ripped off Scooby-Doo, the movie. They're all disbanded by this point. But, they're like, hey, we got to get the team back together for a reunion.
We got to come back because Buffy, the Vampire Slayer actress, is being queen. She's got to hand the crown of Queen Sardine off to the next high school slut.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, did you happen to get like a note that's in Comic Sans font?
Yeah, they didn't bother calling each other and being like, hey, I got a note, threatening to slit my throat and murder me. I guess it didn't say that. It just said, I know what you...
It was very non-threatening. It's just, I know what you did last summer. And of course, they all take it the wrong way, which actually is the right way. But I think if I had gotten a note that said that, and I was like, oh, you know what? I murdered someone last year. But you know how we all get scams, right? In the emails and stuff. It's like, I know what you did last summer. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to delete that. Like I'm just going to ignore it. I know you're trying to ask me for money. Like they should have treated it that way. They should have been like, oh shit, that's right. Last summer I pushed Gary into the women's locker room.
You know what? I didn't even think about that because I'm so used to living in the time of like people are emailing me scams or calling me scams. People aren't just like sending me notes via like carrier pigeon to land in my window and be like, hey, what's your social security number? And I'm like, oh shit, this is probably serious.
This is probably my mom.
But Mom, you're alive?
His mom's dead. It's not a big deal. So,
it's not weird unless you make it weird.
Going back to the movie, Strongman McSweaterface is like going to the...
I don't know which character you're talking about.
Ryan Philippe is he's at the gym/wharf or whatever that building is.
Small town.
Where he goes in there and he's all like, I'm going to lift weights and take a shower, right? And then he sees a Polaroid in his locker that says, oh no. And it's a picture of his car. Now, I feel like he should have gotten that when like, oh yeah, I drive a car. Cool. All right. See if I.
He's so drunk. He's like, what are two pictures? What is this picture of two cars doing here?
But he goes out, and then the killer is in the car, which he can't see, and he starts to drive towards Ryan Philippe. And Ryan Philippe, of course, he's so drunk, he's like, I'm just going to run in a straight line away from the car instead of,
You treat it like an alligator. You run zigzag.
Run zigzag. Exactly.
Actually, though, you know what? This is like, it is true. They say that, like, the person who's drunk in a car accident, like, always survives. Because they're like so relaxed.
Oh, he does.
Because he does survive.
He gets hit by the car and drives through a shack and lands on
and explodes.
Pier. Yeah, it explodes.
And he's like,
and there's limbs everywhere, but somehow none of them were his.
They were tree limbs.
Yeah,
there was a red herring.
Right. So they could write it in the report. There were limbs everywhere, guys. I mean, tree limbs. Don't get worried, guys. Who else got attacked? Everyone.
Else, right? Yeah, the guy who's in Big Bang Theory is the fisherman who saw them.
Oh yeah,
he gets killed first, even though he had nothing
to do with it.
He
did. He had the murder weapon, which was the hook.
Oh, he was like, "Damn it, I left that here. Well, I can't let you live."
I like to imagine the murderer guy who was like, "Yeah, I'm going to send these guys notes and I'm going to scare them. Wait, how am I going to kill them? You know what? I love this guy's style. He uses an ice pick sort of thing. I'm going to kill him.
It's a fish hook.
Well, they use it for other things.
Do not hire Jono for any fishing or ice chipping.
Wait, can you imagine?
Needs.
Wait, can you imagine fishing with that thing?
You gotta be real person's person.
Yeah, you gotta be really one with the salt, if you know what I mean.
Nope, but okay. Moving on.
Yeah, we got to.
You definitely can't buy that hook somewhere. You gotta kill that guy and take that $5.
I'm sure you could. I could go on Amazon
That's
right now.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Why
buy
did
that
he
hook.
have to kill him to get it?
Because he didn't have Prime. He couldn't afford it. He's not into Game of Thrones.
So it turns out it's the dad of the guy who died.
Oh, we're going straight there.
Well,
it's worse than that. As a viewer, you're just watching it and you're like, okay, this guy looks super mysterious. He's covered up all the time.
Yeah, like the Grim Reaper in Muppet Christmas Carol, like no face.
Yeah, no, worse than that. And then you see him and he's just a guy, and you're like, oh.
Who's that?
Is that a dad? Oh, it is a dad. It's the dad of the guy who died.
When they went to the house of the sister of the guy who died and asked about the mom, but I guess they were just like, oh, I forgot that people have dads too.
Yeah, and she was super mysterious. She was all like, what are you asking me? I am the sister. Anyway, I'm just cooking up some barbecue.
You know how Anne Heche is in movies?
Yes,
she's like that in every movie. That was her.
Oh, man, remember 6 Days, 7 Nights?
Oh, dude, that's the only thing I think of besides being Ellen's ex-wife is 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford.
With Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
There was a 26-year difference between them. Anyway, the point is, yes, we get to the end of the movie, and Buffy and Sleazeman McSweaterhead die.
Aww.
So anyway, we get to the end of the movie where Freddie Prinze and Buffy are like, or not Buffy, sorry, Jennifer Love, who knew it, are on the boat, and Slasher Man is like, I'm just doing what's best for my daughter or whatever, and
he's just to justify it, like, oh, gotta make a living or whatever.
Yeah, he makes money off killing teens who may have killed him or tried to. That's
not him, his son.
These are really ahead of their times.
His dopey son at the beginning who has some piece of jewelry where he spins a coin, never comes back.
No, it never comes back. But he was suicidal anyway or something. So they're on the boat and she's escaping him by being helpless. She's like, oh, I'm going to go inside this area. Oh, no.
To be fair, it worked.
It worked. But she was saved by the grace of God every time, though, because he was super about to kill her. And then Freddie Prinze is like, nuh-uh, and slices his hand off and he falls in the river.
He's like, I really got you on the ropes, and then hits the pulley, and it somehow animal traps the killer into like pulling him up Pirates of Penzance style, swinging from the that 80-year-old reference.
Well, you forget he had his hand chopped off, not just any hand. The hand he used the hook for, he can't do it anymore.
Honestly, I wish this movie had just been called Hook. There we go.
Oh my goodness, that was the movie. And now it's time. Oh, wait.
So we are going to just, yeah.
Wait. Yeah,
Next
I got to do
segment.
Wait.
You have to hit play.
I'm doing it.
There we go.
It's time to read. Wait, that's not part of it. Hey, it's time for Review the Reviews. It's a segment in which we, Conrad and I, not just we, pick one.
Yeah, I hope you all picked reviews.
Pick a 1 and 5 star review from one of the movies in which the other sight none and seen, no man. And then we talk about it and we see which one is the good one, right?
That's right. We pick which set of reviews most accurately describes the movie.
Correct.
That we are assigned.
Yes. I'm glad we are not getting into the weeds with how complicated that is.
There's full instructions on our podcast page, filmfightspodcast.com.
Go to the FAQs. We're still working on it. It'll say construction site.
Since we talked about Scream first tonight, and Jono was assigned Scream, Jono, your reviews first, please.
Okay.
5-star review? Or
well,
1 star?
We start with 1, I think, right?
Sure.
It doesn't matter, guys. Why stick to a routine? Okay. So I have a 1-star review here for Scream. And let me tell you, just before I get into this, Conrad already knows this because I complained to him a lot already. It was very difficult to find the correct reviews for this because, I don't know if you know this, there are 3 products that have Scream as the title. We have Scream 1996, Scream that just came out 2021, 2022,
yeah,
and then also Scream the series. And people who write reviews don't care if they're reviewing for the right thing. So I had to read a lot of reviews that were for the other 2.
Thank you for putting forth the effort for us.
Well, I appreciate it. It is my bear to grim.
I don't think that's the... okay.
It is now. We all know about my dyslexia.
Oh my God. Huge strides.
Do you see that? I'm
or as you would say, it's stripes.
I've practicing been. So this is a 1-star review for Scream 1996. My little Prince Tobias watched the Scream film and is having paranoia because he thinks I'm Ghostface. He threw a beer bottle at my head and only goes by Tatum now. I'm extremely confused and upset with the effect this film had on my little boy. He has also been trying to jam himself in the garage door to be exactly like Tatum. 1 star.
I legitimately don't know if they're doing a bit or if they're just a fucking crazy person.
3 people found this helpful.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's good to be prepared for...
I can't tell if this is like, oh, my boyfriend or my son, because also he thinks he's Tatum, the Rose McGowan character.
Yeah, the buxom blonde.
The buxom blonde, yeah. So, yeah, 1 star.
Okay. Somehow that's the movie's fault. Got it.
Yeah, as always the case.
She has a confused child or partner.
Exactly. So this is a 5-star review for The Scream.
Hit us with it.
This movie is one of the best movies to ever exist within the horror genre, which it literally redefined.
Was that the title?
No.
Oh.
There is no title for this one, actually. Got it. Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell were icons in this movie, and Rose McGowan, with her comedic character Tatum Riley, another Tatum reference, was the cherry on top of this masterpiece. Skull Ulrich and Matthew Lillard portrayed psychopaths so well that they are known mainly for their roles in the Scream franchise. And while Matthew hasn't returned to the series yet, we can still hope that his character Stu is still alive.
Okay. I mean,
since Nev Campbell won't be returning for Scream any longer, ? Does this mean Matthew would come back? It doesn't make sense for him. Back to Scream 1996. This movie is the comfort movie of my life, and I've never loved anything more than this masterpiece of a film. I will review more later.
I hope this person's on a government list because comfort movie, first of all. Second,
I like that it's I will review more later.
Thank you.
It's like, to me, I'm like, more movies or more of this movie?
Don't worry, this is part 1 of 10 in my Scream 96 review series.
This was me just talking about Matthew Lillard coming back.
Guys, we barely scratched the surface. Okay, otherwise, pretty good representation.
Well, I mean,
okay.
which one correctly?
Oh, which one of your reviews more correctly?
More correctly.
First one, because I love me some Tatum.
Oh, yeah.
And, many a
Tatum
childhood
tots.
day was spent from me trying to figure out how to get stuck in my garage door so I could be like Rose McGowan.
Well, you or your prince.
She dated Marilyn Manson,
Everybody knows.
James doesn't know. Did you know that?
He's the reason, or she's the reason why he doesn't have a rib.
Because she's like, I'm tired of blowing you.
No,
I want you to remove a rib so you can do it yourself.
No, people think it's because of that, but it's because they were all like into Adam and Eve and stuff. And she was like, I'm your rib bone. And he's like, yeah. And then he reached in just like Adam did in Days of Yore. Pulled it out.
Back when God was vengeful.
Yeah. And then she ate it.
That's okay.
3 stars.
Okay, so
yeah. So what do you got for I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Okay, so a rare 1-star review
for this gem of a movie.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. It was really hard for me to hold this in while you were reading your 1-star review because this is apparently this is an epidemic. All right, the title is "Kids Didn't Like It."
Oh.
I had my 5-year-old's birthday party this past weekend. I thought this movie was a good idea, but it was not. Every one parent was calling me that night screaming, "My kid is having a nightmare." My bad.
What? They gave it a 1 star because they fucked up.
I hate this movie. These pussy-ass kids couldn't even handle it.
But they liked it.
Yeah, right. But no, just so you know, this is no Serendipity or Eureka's Castle that you can show your 5-year-olds.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have it made like us back then. I was watching those back then.
No one said they found it helpful, nor did anyone say they found this next review helpful. But this is a 5-star review. The title of this review is...
Equally rare?
The title of this review is, okay.
Good start for a 5-star review.
Everything it is okay, and everything it is all right. Thank you for the shipments. It is what I want. Best regards... One of my favorite lanes of reviews is when people think they're like writing a letter to like Amazon to be like, you know what? I'll bet whoever's in the letter receiving department could use a boost for their day.
Review section, like that doesn't go to anyone. That's just like if you go to like a billboard or a cork board in like the laundry room of your apartment, like, boy, I love these apartments. Best regards.
I love the idea that like Jeff Bezos is like, good job, I'm putting this on the fridge where we keep your genetically engineered fruit snacks.
He's got a big fridge. So.
It's where they work. They work in the fridge, dude. Keeps them productive.
It is really cold in those warehouses.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well...
so which one?
Which of the reviews you think more accurately sums up I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Probably the first one, honestly, because...
Yeah, it's not good for kids.
Well, modern 5-year-olds, okay?
Pussies.
Because when I was 5, I was, like the other 5-year-olds, I was spitting in the dirt and licking it because I'm like, oh my God, I lost part of my body. That's different, okay? I didn't have knowledge when I was 5. But I was also watching Evil Dead 2 at the time.
That's right.
And I was like, you know what, Bruce Campbell, I will eat dirt.
Did he ask you to do that?
Of course not.
Oh, okay. You just felt like it would serve him.
Yeah, because I was 5 and I didn't have the internet or instant.
None of us. It didn't exist yet.
No, it didn't.
Well. Oh yeah. One more musical cue, everyone.
No, I'm
actually 2 more.
No, I'm getting ready for it.
Oh, okay.
Because we still have to do the. We have to tell about.
Yeah.
We have to say what the movie won.
That's right. The time has come.
Yes.
To pick a winner. Scream versus I Know What You Did Last Summer. And honestly, I felt like one of them was a shoo-in, but you seem a little bit foot in both camps to me, so I genuinely don't know what your answer is. So, Jono, what say you? What's the winner?
I have to go first because of it?
Because I'm talking, you have to go first.
Yeah, God damn it. Here's the deal. Like I said, I love I love the map of Scream. But I don't like the movie. I know it's a hot take. I don't like it. I don't understand why people... Well, I do understand why people love it. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I didn't even like the gutters of it. So, yeah, Scream by default. Begrudgingly. No, I mean, I like Neve Campbell. I did like her performance in it. And Dewey, he's a sweetheart. And I liked it, but the dialogue, and honestly, I think Wes Craven, for me, is a hit or miss director. I know he's legendary, and rest in peace, whatever. But if you watch all of his movies, which I've nearly done, like the ones that hit, like Nightmare on Elm Street or...
Shocker.
Yes, the movie Shocker.
Classic.
He's not saying, "Oh, what a shocker."
Oh yeah, the movie Shocker.
The movie Shocker. Yeah. No, I like that one. I actually do. But I do like this one of his. But his dialogue is just kind of like, yeah, sure, just move things along. He's a very George Lucas director.
Oh hey, if you could just say, movies are great. And,
wait, are you doing
that dreaded sundown?
Are you doing an impression of George Lucas or Wes Craven?
Yes.
Conrad, what say you? Will this be the winner, or will it be a tiebreaker?
Listen, I just got to say, I had a huge crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt until still. And
that explains everything.
Everything. I did marry a brunette, so take that way you will. She's shorter than Jennifer Love Hewitt, I think, though, so... No one's perfect, but...
She's a rail. Love Hewitt.
Doing rails, anyway. So, but Scream also was a movie, too. Come on, it's Scream. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Scream was at least like it was an original format, even like it was a reinvention of the genre. It like had the twist, even though we're making fun of it. Like I didn't see it coming the first time. I was
no. I love the twist.
Whoa! It's Shaggy. He wasn't Shaggy yet, but you know,
Shaggy, not that one.
It wasn't me. We're talking about Shaggy Doo.
Yeah, because him and Scooby-Doo are brothers. Wow. Well, they both eat Scooby snacks. That should tell you everything. They're roommates and brothers.
Yeah.
They should make a movie called The Doo Brothers. No, wait, that's not good. Oh. Well, you heard it here, folks. Scream is the reaming champion of our 2 movies that versed
by a screaming win. Just screamed by the competition. That was better. Edit it.
You should have said by a howling.
We did not talk about the howling.
No. I mean, because Scream. It's an adjective a synonym.
There was no shocker. I just thought I'd bring it back.
No, I'm going to edit that out.
It's the end time.
This was it really is, and he means that in many different ways, guys, so get into your bomb shelters. But while you're in there, hey, pop up some popcorn, throw in a DVD or Blu-ray, and watch a movies that you like.
And you know what? If one of those movies is like, hey, I want to know what Jono and Conrad think about this, shoot us an email, battles@filmfightspodcast.com. And we're also on Instagram and Facebook, Film Fights Podcast.
Yeah, you can DM us or grab a sticker. We got stickers.
Feel free to slide into those DMs appropriately, though. We're both married. I'm married to a woman. He's married to the sea.
Yep, I am married to the C word.
It's me.
It is him. And furthermore, if you really like Wes Craven, let me tell you about some movies that he is in. He was in...
Bye!
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful evening. Happy Halloween! I played the wrong song.
I know. No one knows.
It's fine.